exact same start time as his teammate as well, so it was a race of the drive. Here you can see his runners working to try to control those hits to stay from skidding off of the wall. And then right here out of Kreisel, up high, down low. Throw it in that needle. See the brakeman, his shoulders flying around back there.
Yeah. He's a big fella, Ilya Malik. Not quite as big as the German doctor you can see down there in the yellow jacket in the S's. He is 6'8", nearly 6'9". He's a tall fella. And compared to me, he's a tall fella. Well, next up is the man who has been unbeatable so far this season in the two-man bobsleigh World Cup. Our Olympic champion, our multiple world champion in both disciplines, 2 and 4. 487, 1/10 off the start record, and ties Justin Cripps at the getaway.
All right, even start, fair race right now. It's dead tie. We'll see what happens. He has a lot more experience on this track than Cripps because it is a German track. Yeah. So we'll see. But right now it's dead even.
Yeah, a few hundred more runs, still dead even. Oh, but he's in the red coming into Kreisel. 1:12.5 is great speed. Cripps had 1:12.8. This is going to be super close. 200.
It's all a little bit of a sideways cap into that last curve.
Wow, now it's all on the exit of Echo and the 2 uphill sections. Here we go, 500's back, but top speed 121.2. It's going to be very close at the line. 300's in it, what a race.
Wow, this is going to come down to the second heat.
Wow, now don't forget, in the first heat last week, Cripps led by 400s from Friedrich, who then stepped up a gear and wiped the floor with everybody in the second run.
Yeah, I would say these two have a little bit of a rivalry going on.
No kidding. Absolutely they do. So Francesco Friedrich and Justin Cripps, the joint Olympic two-man champions, are first and second just 300s apart.
Yeah, and with the exact same start time, it really just comes down to who could drive better, who has better equipment. But both of them had a pretty good-looking run. Right here was probably the worst part of Friedrich's double tap into the Jenner curve.
Yeah, Martin Gropkop getting bounced up in the air there. And that was the difference between them, perhaps just that one little tap.
Yeah, and it still wasn't bad. It just was the difference between him and Cripps.
Yoon Jung-won of Korea next up, silver medalist in the 4-man tie with Nico Walter in the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang. Jin-Soo Kim, his regular 2-man brakeman on the back. Jin-Soo has really found the speed this season, taking over the #1 brakeman slot from Youngwon Seo. 14th at 23 sleds. Let's see what they can produce at the start. Nice solid load, but one drifting out of those spurs at the top.
493 on the start, third fastest start time overall. Oh, sorry, sixth fastest overall.
600s behind as he sat down, goes to 1200s down, and any steering before you get to the S's is really detrimental to speed.
Yeah, exactly. And you just want to have those S's nice and smooth, high to low, all the way around. Let's see what it looks like in the Kreisel.
Decent bend away, but 2 kilometers an hour slower than Cripps.
Yeah. Kreisel looked good, not massive waves there, but speed just isn't there for him.
Well, good run through the doodles from 4/10 back and 9th spot. Could he drive himself into the top half dozen? He's coming. No, look at his speed.
Oh.
Only 12 fastest the Hyundai sled. He's not coming. He dropped speed all the way down the order.
Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of surprising with nothing majorly wrong on that, just no speed for him. I would say maybe S4. You can see his runner tips really working out of S4, trying to get it under control.
When he loaded, there's that little meander out of the grooves as well. I wonder whether they've just not quite got the runner choice right. You know, 2 days ago, what the weather was, guessing the weather today, who knows?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Skid out of the grooves, puts him on the right wall. Has to. Ideally, you want to be on the left coming out of there. And then bend away. 1 tap, 2 taps, 3 taps. You're gonna tap there, but the key is to make it double bunk even taps so they don't break you into a skid.
Well, we've seen a lot worse runs, but we've seen better as well from the Korean, and Yoon Jung-won is in 11th place. Well, fabulous 2-man weekend last weekend for Roman Heinrich of France. Ended up with a phenomenal 5th position And still not sure when the last time a French two-man sled finished in the top 10 or in the top 6 of a World Cup race, but we don't think it was this century.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding. With Dorian Otteville, the sprinter behind him, as Max Robert yelling them away at the top. And Heinrich was just on cloud 9 last weekend. Look at the start as well, 494, good solid getaway from them.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the first year of a quad. Some of these smaller nations in bobsled could maybe come ahead, find their groove, find their momentum, and start to do something. Ooh, hit out of S4 on the right wall. That's probably going to cost him a little bit.
Yeah, Skinny, you know, he hasn't got a lot of experience, jumped into a sled in the front seat in 2015 for the first time, so this is his second season of any World Cup races in the front. Did half the season last year, joined us in the after Christmas.
Yeah, it looks like he's starting to get it together here at the bottom of the track. Bottom of the track's definitely a lot nicer than the top. Place
Hey, and off an 8th fastest start.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you know, those errors coming onto the bend away definitely cost him time. He's 2900s back. He's 300s behind Oscar's Kibermanis.
Wow.
That's another huge drive.
That was awesome.
And a lot to tidy up as well. You know, the great thing is if you get down and it's perfect and you're behind the leaders, you've got nowhere to go.
Exactly. So if he could clear up the exit of S4, and then, yeah, right there, boom. To be with that hit out of S4 and to still be in the position he's in, I'm impressed. He gets it under control here in the bend away and has a pretty nice run after that. Yeah.
Apart from that little tap, that could have been a German sled there. That was a really nice bend away.
Yeah.
Robin Heinrich and Dorian Otteville lie in 5th place. Cody Bascu, another of the walking wounded here in Königssee. Justin Cripps, Francesco Friedrich, the Olympic champions, are on the top of our pile. Cody Bascu will be...
He's on the pitch.
Not sitting in, and in fact, he's, getting ready to push with Hakim Abdul Sabur. Sat in for the last couple of races, had a big crash in the 4-man last week in Altenburg that tore the start handle out of the sled. 492. That's not a bad start at all.
That's what we call him, Hakim the Machine, the brakeman behind him.
Yeah, Hakim is a real monster, isn't he? All right, 4th fastest start in the field with a barely back to strength Bascu.
That's impressive. Nice exit of S4.
All right, let's see what he's got.
2, that's probably the least amount of caps coming through there we've seen.
Drives the bend away nicely, keeps the pressures under control. Let's see the exit of Kreisel.
I think that's the best exit he's had all week. Cody's definitely a gamer.
All right, 10th place at the moment. Maybe he's got a little too much control in the sled. Maybe after last week's crash, he needs to make sure he gets down safely here rather than necessarily lightning fast. 50.13, just out of the top 10. Your teammate Brittany Reinbold doing a good job there, Cody Bascu.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, first race back, pushing the sled, you gotta learn how to get that heart rate down after pushing. It makes a difference when you're driving.
Yeah.
But 4th start,
yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Kreisel manages the waves pretty good. You can see his nose is still pointed down here a little bit, but manages this 3rd wave to stay nice and early along that wall.
Look how long Hakim Abdul Sabur is. His head is almost in Cody's back. In half the brakemen, there's like 1.5 feet between the head and the driver.
Yeah, but Hakim is a big guy. There's not an ounce of fat on him, just big and muscular.
Cody Bascu from Whitehall, New York. Good first heat from him on the fringes of the top 10. Well, next up from Monaco is our 17th sled. Rudy Rinaldi and his number 1 two-man brakeman Boris Vain. Bruno Mijon in the background there, just checking the equipment. So Bruno Mijon, the last man to claim a World Cup medal for France as a driver. That would have been in the 4-man. Let's see what Rudy Rinaldi can produce. Felt a little out of sorts, I think, last week in Altenburg. 5:03.
One of the slower starts, but we'll see if he can come back from that.
Again, he does have good feel on the D-rings, the rings that used to steer these sleds like an old soapbox cart.
Exactly. Little hit there out of S4, causing that skid through the bend away.
costly bendaways we've seen so far. 1:12.6, very good speed though, really good speed. Well, Bruno Michon, when he massages sleds, does find speed in them.
Yep. And that's part of the sport, is the technology and the equipment. Sometimes you can hit walls and still not do too much damage.
Top speed of all.
Wow.
Now, so where does that put him at the line? Only 14th place, 50.36.
Well, the top speed, or one of the slower starts, and that hit out of S4, I'm impressed with the speed.
Yeah, 15th fastest, 14th at the line, so he's outdriven their starting speed, and the bendaway was really quite uncomfortable, wasn't it?
Exactly. I think coming back second heat, he's only going to move up and tidy up those errors a bit. But I would think he chose the right equipment for this race with those speeds. Right there, that hit out of S4, came along the right wall, took the tap. You want to be along the left, which causes this massive skid right here. Bunks don't hit together, right? You want them to hit together, not one at a time. Gets it under control eventually.
Well, good stuff from the Monegasques. Next up, another team in red and white. This time, it's back to Canada with Nick Polignati's got Ryan Sommer behind him on the rear handles. Well, like his teammate Justin Cripps last week in Altenburg was his first World Cup race, 14th place finish, a big 10-place improvement on what he'd done the previous season there, Nick Polignato.
Yeah, 492 on the start, that puts him in the mix. He's only 900s back right now.
Well, one thing you can never accuse the Canadians of is being slow away out of the blocks. Fourth fastest start of all, good run onto the bendaway, past the umpire band. That's a novel exit. Come out of S4 and there's a trombone going in your ear.
Yeah, the fans here are outstanding. This is looking pretty good. It's 3/10 back. This might put him in the mix.
Well, he was fourth down to the Kreisel, now down to 11th on the splits, though. Let's see if he can pick up a little speed at the bottom. Aiming for the top 10. No, the speed's not in the sled, is it? Only 15th fastest, 11th. Tied with Cody Vasquez. And how far are they? 300s covering 10th and the tie for 11th. There's a real fight in the next heat.
Exactly.
From Alexander Bredikin in 8th down to the tie for 11th, there is a 10th covering 5 sleds.
We definitely have a race for that second heat. Here comes Nick out of the grooves. Nice along that left wall, but takes a tap. You want to aim to be left, but you don't want to take that hit going in.
Yeah.
Nice exit of Kreisel, though. And gets a hit there. Nope. Oh, you can see the rear runners kind of flying through the air.
He's getting pushed away by the build-up of ice inside the wall there rather than actually hitting the wall. So, yeah, not bad stuff from Nick Polignato and Ryan Sommer. 18 sleds down, 5 to go, 2 spots left in the race. And in the remaining sleds, we've got 2 Swiss sleds. So this is Michael Vogt with Sandro Michel behind him. Vogt, the more experienced of the 2 young Swiss drivers. And he's now taken over Billy Meyerhand's spot as number 2. Big Billy in the selection races in the Christmas New Year by a 10th of a second to grab that second World Cup position in the 2-man.
Yeah, most people don't realize that most federations have a reselection halfway through. So just because you make the World Cup team the first half of the season doesn't mean you're going to be on it the second half of the season as well.
Yeah, Christmas New Year was a natural break, but it was only 2 races into the 8-race World Cup season, so it's a smaller half.
Exactly. That was a really nice bendaway. He controlled S4 nicely, only 2 taps through there.
Now let's see if he can dig himself a top 10 position out of here. Good exit. He's gone from 12th up to 11th on the split times.
Honestly, this is looking really good. I don't want to jinx him.
But you're going to. 6.
Yeah.
The Swiss sled is quick. 8th fastest. He's into the top 10. This is 9th place ahead of Brad Hall. It is 9th place ahead of Brad Hall. Tied, in fact, in 8th place with Alexander Bredikin. So we now have 6 sleds covered by a 10th of a second. That midfield pack gets tighter every week.
It does. But that was a really solid run for these guys. Off of a 12th place start to jump up into 8th place overall just means he was gaining time down the entire track. So good driving from Vogt. There's the load, gets in. Tucks it in nicely next to that left wall. And then coming out of here, a little brush at the bottom portion of the track, but by the time you have so much speed, a brush at the bottom doesn't hurt you too badly.
Yeah. Good job from Mikael Vogt. Now then, as we get down to our final sled in the 20, not in the field, Ivo de Bruin of the Netherlands. We have a tie for 18th, Benny Meyer and Dimitri Popov. In 17th is Justin Olsen. Those are the 3 sleds in the danger zone. Rudy Rinaldi in 16th, he's in. We're only going to cut 3 sleds. The question is, does Ivo Bruin go fast enough, or is he going to be on the sidelines? Dennis Fenker behind him was one of those taking an icy bath in the Königssee yesterday, for reasons best known to himself.
498 on the start.
Decent start, that's the same as the Swiss have just posted. And Ivo, 7th place last weekend in the 2-man. Really a standout performance in Altenburg.
Yeah, I'd say Ivo and his wife Christina are really like, ooh. I would say they're really doing well, stepping up together. A big skid on S4. That might hurt him.
Yeah. 12th fastest to start, 14th at the Kreisel. Now he really needs a good exit. He's got to get this right or he's out.
Yeah, we're fighting for that second run here.
16th place, well, it's not going to be in single digits. Is he going to be in the top 20? What's the speed like?
Ooh, skid, the back got away from him, but still good speed.
7th fastest in the Eurotech sled and at the line in 14th place. Okay, so he's in the race.
All
right, field is full. Tied for 19th, Benny Meyer of Austria and Dimitri Popov, our World Cup rookie. Not the tidiest run for Ivo de Bruin, but he is in. I was talking to Vin Normans, who's the guy who owns Eurotech, is now the head of the Dutch Federation, saying that they're really working on Ivo's pre-race nerves. He's been good in training a lot and has not produced it in the race, and they're just trying to work with the psychology and just get him more relaxed and more focused.
Yeah, Ivo's had some great training runs this season. But you can see they're going to get a second run, and that's a win in itself.
That's the key here. 20 sleds down, 3 to go. Justin Cripps and Francesco Friedrich, 300s apart. Nico Walter lies 3rd. Outside the top 20 starters, it's not his World Cup debut. This is Hansi Lautner, and the reason he's so far down is a crash last time out in Altenburg, his favourite track. Now he's on his home track. He lives in Berchtesgaden, where the family business is. Let's see if Johannes Lautner and Christian Russ can drive themselves into the medals here.
488 on the start, that's a good start.
That is a huge getaway, just 100th slower than the fastest starts.
Yeah, if there's going to be an upset here with the rest of the sleds, it's going to be these guys right here.
Well, Lautner being in the medals on his home track shouldn't be an upset. Yeah, starting 21st is just a legacy of that crash last week.
Yeah. This is looking good. Can he find the speed?
He's 3rd on the splits. The question is, how far will he drift away? He's 400s back.
Ooh, a hit there.
Oh, and a real bump there. Gets Christian Russ right up in the air. 700s back. It'll be around 1500s at the line. This is not going to be good enough to take the lead. It may not be good enough to allow him to fight for gold in the second heat. 1600s at the line. 49.67. He's comfortably in the race. And we now have a tie for 20th.
Wow.
But Hansi Lautner, the local boy from Berchtesgaden.
I think a 3rd place for him going into the second heat is definitely within fighting range.
See, he's still wearing a pad on his shoulder where he burnt it in the crash last week.
Yeah.
But
this is what really, bend away was nice. The exit of Kreisel is what put him into 3rd from 1st. Right here, comes over, takes the tap out of Kreisel, pushes him away, and then just stays over there. And then he's crossed into there. Not good, but 3rd place still, he could work with that.
Well, the back end breaking away here as well, onto the final corner. Runners up in the air.
Yeah, you can only get away with that stuff on your home track.
Yeah. Well, even then, you know, it's cost him a shot at the lead.
Yeah.
2 to go, and a World Cup rookie. This is 21-year-old Swiss Timo Rona. I nearly said Marcel. Force of habit. Son of Marcel Rona, the Olympic silver medalist from Nagano in '98, the World Championship silver medalist in Calgary '96, and Cortina d'Ampezzo 99. Well, Timo Röner making his World Cup debut with Adrian Fassler behind him. Röner only did 3 races last season, so very inexperienced driver in terms of miles on the track. Swiss have got high hopes for him, though.
Yeah, he's young. He just got to get that experience, and he definitely has it in his blood to be great.
Yeah. Well, he had the speed at home in St. Moritz to qualify for the World Cup spot. Let's see what he can produce here. At the moment, he's in the race. He's in 18th, ahead of Rudy Rinaldi of Monaco.
It is a fight for that second run. 6/10 back.
Up to 15th place. He's ahead of Ivo de Bruin, challenging Cody Bascu. He is in 15th. 100th ahead of Ivo de Bruin. He's in the second heat, and Benny Meyer is out, and fellow World Cup debutant Dmitry Popov is also out. So a big congratulations from his brakeman, Adrian Fassler. They are in the race.
All right.
So another second generation slider here with Timo Röner, son of Marcel Röner.
Yeah, you can see it's really low before this third pressure in Kreisel, but he catches it nicely, gets it under control, and it doesn't really cause him too many problems coming out of here. Out a little early, taps over. Once again, boom, right there. We've seen that all night.
Yeah. And for years gone by as well. So there he is, Timo Röner is in the race, and a good run to 15th, and that puts the pressure on our final starter, Drazen Cilic of Croatia. Ivan Sola there at the back with the sled. And Drazen, the yacht charter skipper and teacher, 33 years old. This is only his 6th World Cup start, 5 of which have been in the 2-man. And he also qualified and raced in the Olympic Games, and the whole team were so excited to get to Pyeongchang. They didn't think it was going to happen, and in the end, the final point scoring race weekend, they managed to qualify themselves to go to the Games. Alexander Krajisnik behind him. It's a mixed nation team, Croatia. It's kind of a former Yugoslavia. They've got all sorts. They've got Serbs, Croats.
Yeah, 22nd on the start. So we will see if they could move up from there a couple spots and make it into the second heat.
Yeah, there was a tie for 21st. He's got to overhaul Justin Olsen, who started 16th fastest with a 5:01. So Olsen with a quarter-second advantage from the start.
Lots of little brushes through the bend away.
First World Cup race this season for Drazen Cilic. Only his 5th ever 2-man World Cup.
Nice exit of Kreisel.
That's nicely threaded together. Still in 22nd place on the splits. Can he make the second heat?
It's going to come down to the line. Let's see.
Not sure he's going to be close enough. He's too far out of the top 20. No, 51.18. He's down. He has a better chance in the 4-man of making the second heat.
Caught a rose.
Oh, nice stuff. Do you know what? It might be tiny in terms of size, but in terms of heart, this is a huge team.
Exactly. And to come out here, your first World Cup race of the season, have some fun, catch some roses.
Yeah,
it's all about
nice.
getting this experience.
There you go. Beautiful stuff. Great stuff from Alexander Krajisnik on the back and Drazen Cilic in the front to round out the first heat. Couple of little slides down the bend away.
Yeah, and then at the bottom of the track, he started to get a little bit away from him, flopping off the curves, breaking into little skids right there onto the finish curve and then off of the finish curve.
Again, relatively inexperienced on all the tracks here in Europe, and
but catching the rose.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you know, the spatial awareness that drivers have on the track is fantastic. And Drazen enjoying his moment, milking the crowd for all they've got, and why not? Wow, what a race we've had. So 23 sleds down, and at the top, our two-man Olympic champions are separated by just 0.03 of a second. Francesco Frugic, unbeaten this season, 0.03 behind Justin Cripps. Cripps for the second week in his World Cup season this year, second week in a row, is the first heat leader. Question is, this time, can he putt for gold? Cripps by 3 from Friedrich. Lautner 1600s behind, not out of the chance perhaps to sneak a win here. Nico Walter not out of the medals either. What about Kiba Manis? Hasn't been off the podium this year. And Roman Heinrich, 2900s. Could he move up to 3rd or 4th? Everybody at the top of the field is in the fight for the European Championships. The top North American slider is Nick Polignato, tied with Cody Basque for 13th. No, I beg your pardon, it's not. It's Justin Cripps, of course, who's leading the field. What am I talking about, you idiot, Martin? See, that's why you're here, Brittany, to correct me with those things.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, don't we though? Okay, so here we go. That's it. First heat done. Join Brittany Rybolt, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew to find out which of our Olympic champions is going to win this, or where somebody else is going to sneak it away from their grasp. Second heat, the sleds are up on ice at 1800 local time, 1700 Greenwich Mean Time, wherever you are. Join us, please. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Friends.